Sam casually threw the burning thing on the ground, and the green grass on the ground became smooth. Sam was stunned to see this. Is this a sign of an attack on the ground? He bent down to check, but found that the texture of the soil was not right. Sam immediately picked up a handful of soil and dug, but found that there was no soil under the straw curtain, but a large piece of yellow soil. He quickly called his wife Julia and daughter, but the two of them dug in this small garden, but found nothing. Suddenly a strange sound came from the sky. Sam brought a ladder and wanted to climb to the roof to check the situation on the house, but what he saw was that all the houses built there were the same type. Sam was disappointed. A few months ago, Sam and Julia came to a residential complex, wanting to buy the first house of their life. Kim, a staff member of the complex, excitedly explained that although our building complex is in the parish, all the houses are single-family houses. It costs just $2,000 per square meter. The two immediately got in the car and followed Kim. The society was deserted. All the houses not only looked exactly the same, but were also so dense that they couldn't see the end. The green color made Sam feel bright. Kim took them to building number 9. As soon as they entered the house, he began to introduce enthusiastically, saying that the foundation, decoration, furniture, and accessories are all free. If you pay the deposit today, you can also get the property. Management fee waived for a year. The couple was instantly attracted by these, but when Julia wanted to find out more, she found that Kim and her car were missing. Sam felt something was wrong, so he quickly took Julia over. However, the buildings of the entire society were connected, and the roads were also connected in all directions. The two drove for a long time, but still couldn't find a way out. No matter how they drove, they would eventually return to the gate of number 9. Sam thought that Julia was driving, so he took over the driving and asked Julia to turn on the mobile navigation. Julia found that both their mobile phones were not getting signal. Desperate, Sam had to muster up courage and look for a way out. But he kept driving until it was dark, but still he could not get out of the society. When the petrol ran out, the car stopped at the door of number 9 Villa. Defeated, they decided to go back to number 9 Villa first. After resting for a night in room 9 opened the refrigerator in the room. They found a bottle of ice cream and strawberries inside, but when they ate, it felt like they were chewing without any taste. The two spent a restless night. Early the next day, Sam prepared to climb onto the roof to see if there was a way out. However, he was almost disappointed by what lay before him. The house was like a lost road. The two walked in the same direction all night, but they could not move forward until the sun set. Julia suddenly saw light coming from a window. But when they ran to the room, they saw that the food they had eaten last night was placed on the table. This was actually Villa number 9. There was a door outside the house, which was filled with various food and daily necessities. It was clear that they were being treated like prisoners. Sam immediately tore the window curtains and burned them. He wanted to use this method to expose the cunning people behind the curtain. Now the villa was completely burning. No one came. The couple was already exhausted, and they had to sit on the side of the road. The next day, Julia woke up in shock. She saw a sign at a distance. When she opened it, she found a cute baby inside. There was also a sentence written on that board, which said, "As long as you raise the child, you will be free." Both were stunned. The villa burned in the fire was fine. To get freedom, the couple had no choice but to accept the reality. After a few days, the child actually turned into a 10-year-old boy. His eyes and movements were normal. He not only liked to peek into the private life of the couple, but also often imitated their tone and hateful words. But whenever he felt hot or angry, he would scream shrill and would not calm down until Julia gave him something to eat. Whatever was left after eating was thrown into a garbage can. Sam put the garbage can outside every day. Julia also noticed an important thing. A mysterious person took it away. Sam then threw the burning thing down, then the ground there became smooth, which undoubtedly aroused Sam's great interest. He tried to dig the ground there. Sam also firmly believed that this was the only way to escape from this place. But half a month passed in the blink of an eye, and Sam did not achieve anything. His body became weaker. Julia originally wanted to persuade the child to go out, but digging holes every day became Sam's only hope. The boy also showed some more deliberate behavior. Whenever he was out at night, she would quietly turn on the TV and often admire the strange things going on in it. This behavior was not hers. It not only made both of them feel uncomfortable, but also made Sam feel very bad. Shortly after, the boy is screaming again because of 15 kinds of things, so Sam came and beat the boy and locked him in the car outside the house. Julia's motherly love awoke and went to stab the prisoner. She ignored her husband's protests and insisted on releasing the boy. This incident made Sam's life worse. It also caused a bit of tension in the couple's relationship. After that, Sam continued to dig the pit every day without saying anything. Julia took care of the boy alone. Early in the morning, the little boy suddenly disappeared. Julia looked for him in the society all day, but found nothing. The boy returned, by himself with a book in his hand. When Julia opened the card, it was filled with some strange symbols and patterns, but this did not bother Julia. After turning off the display showing strange patterns on the TV, she asked the boy to play a full imitation game. The boy imitated Sam and Julia's gestures brilliantly. Julia suspected warm applause and the boy's anger. In the blink of an eye, 3 more months passed. The boy had become a strong adult, and Julia continued to take care of his consciousness like a maid. Since they were sure that the other party was not human, the couple lived at war every day, fearing that one day they would be eaten. Sam's body also fell apart in the daytime. She noticed that the man would take out the book every day, disappear for a while, and then come back, so Julia decided that she would secretly follow him, but she would lose him every time. At the same time, Sam made a discovery. He literally took out a piece of paper wrapped tightly in plastic tape. He wanted to tell his wife about it, but his body was too weak, and he didn't even have the strength to do so. In the end, he was powerless and collapsed on the side of the road. When Julia found out about her husband, she wanted to quickly take him back to the room to rest. Julia knocked on the door for help, but he didn't open the door. In desperation, the couple had to stay in the car for a long time. The next morning, Julia found that her husband's physical condition was bad, so she went to knock on the door again and asked the man for help. This time, the man finally opened the door and walked out. Julia asked the other side to save her husband, but the man said coldly, "I don't think there is a chance," and left without looking back. Sam didn't insist for long. He died from his wife's words. Julia fell asleep on her husband's body. The man opened a fruit bar. Julia fainted immediately and couldn't do anything but scream in pain, but she could only watch as the man put her husband's body in the fruit bar and dumped it in the hole he had dug with his own hands. Julia's heart couldn't help trembling. The next morning, she secretly hid in the car. When the man drove out, he suddenly turned on the engine from behind. The man crawled along the road with all fours, making a scary sound. He pushed the sidewalk and then quickly walked in. Julia followed him, but she saw that there was another world under the ground. Seeing that the man had lost his mind, Julia didn't care about being scared and quickly walked in. But the next moment, she fell into a bloody room and she saw a little boy sitting next to the TV, looking at the strange questions in it. In the kitchen, a woman was sitting at the dining table crying silently. This familiar scene made Julia feel very solemn. The ground under her feet turned into sand, and Julia soon fell into another room. As the place she entered kept changing, Julia saw more families like her, who were trapped in this extremely strange place, and she finally returned to the familiar Villa number 9. Julia dragged her tired body out of the door, and after the last desperate scream, she finally couldn't stop herself and hid on the ground. A few moments later, the man came out again without any injury. Julia also put the fruit in the belt and threw it to her husband, where it was already, Mercury. The green grass growing on the ground soon hid all traces of it. Then the man walked away from the society. Kim was too old to see his drama, but seeing the man coming, she took off the name tag on her chest with her last strength and then stopped breathing forever. The man put on the name tag without any emotion and became the next Kim. He took out the belt prepared long ago from the cabinet, put the old Kim in it easily, and also tied a knot on the edge of the belt, and then folded the belt easily and put it in the bed of drawers. Today is the first day of wearing a belt for little Kim, but he is very lucky. Not long after, two young couples came looking for a new house. "Welcome, nice to meet you,"